Okay, here we go. I think I'm live now. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alafia, greetings and hotep. And thank you so much for joining me this late evening. I came with good tidings to talk a little bit about our function that we have prepared for you on the 25th of April. The tickets are now here, and they were made up with the banquet and the actual conference. However, we have decided to leave off the banquet because we cannot gather with any more than 10 people together. But nevertheless, we are going to have a virtuous conference, and that conference will go on online. As you can see, we have the tickets made up here for the very date of April 25th, along with the banquet. However, the banquet has been postponed, and there is no further notice on the date of the banquet because we cannot gather in any more than 10 people. However, we will gather on Zoom, and we will be Zooming in with our conferences, and we will have speakers, poetry, and we will actually go on with our conference. Every year we have a theme to our conference, and every year we bring in keynote speakers, and we have a chance to introduce Chuck Sanford, the founder of Project 2019. He goes on the air and he speaks. Now, some of you have heard me talk about our mission statement and our goals. We actually have our mission statement printed up here, which everyone will get a copy of for their files, as well as we put out a little pamphlet. It's a little booklet telling you all about Project 2019. And we are not a group, we are not a fundraiser, but we are a movement. And because we are a movement, we're focusing and dedicated on African Americans. So many people say people of color, and they include everyone but the African Americans. And we're not African American, we're indigenous first world people. So I am here to represent the indigenous first world people, not the colored people, not the black people, not the African American, but the indigenous first world people. And I am proud to say that I am unapologetically indigenous first world people. And Project 2019, as you can see, I'm wearing my t-shirt. We do have t-shirts that are available for purchasing. I'm not sure what that price was. We've changed a few things, and we've actually reduced prices so that everyone can participate. As you know, I did tell you that the tickets were $25 for one. However, we are changing this ticket where those who would like to give a love offering, for the companies, it will be $25, and those who would like to give a love offering of at least $10 can participate in the conference. And we are going to have them online so you can actually purchase them online. Now, one of the things I will tell you is that, as you can see the tickets, they do have the graduating cap and gown individual. We are pushing and marketing for higher level learning, whether it be through a certificate program, a 2-year associate program, or we also have a program that has a non-traditional route towards extending yourself with your life experiences, non-traditional early childhood credential. And that is one that I can help you to get scholarship money for, as well as to help you matriculate through the program. I taught the program. It was a 9-month program. It took your life experiences, that you have over 480 hours of working one-on-one with children. We gave you credit for those years of service, in addition to your 120 clock hours that we also allowed you to take at a junior college or to take in a workshop, symposium, so that way you could take your life experiences. A lot of teachers don't get a chance to go off to school when they start a family child care in their home. They're busy working. So we must make it applicable and applicable to those who are not able to leave to go to the institution. We tried to bring the institution to them with virtuous classrooms as well as workshops and seminars. And I used to bring the classes to the various communities of family child care, laundromats, as well as libraries, wherever we could congregate, so that women don't feel threatened by going off to college, and they could do it, the training in the privacy of someone's home or their own home. Now, we are a non-traditional type of extended, I would say, extension. We used to be an extension college called Cornerstone Christian College, and we are possibly going to add those programs back where you can go online to a virtuous classroom. Now, that is in the making now, but as you know, I do have a few certificate programs, and that is for the anatomy and for the medical term. That is the science foundation classes that we teach. And we're going to be pushing for people to get that certificate because it'll make you prepare to go into the surgery centers or hospitals or outpatient surgery and have your foundation to get trained as a phlebotomist in the doctor's office or to get trained as a medical assistant. And most people can't matriculate through the anatomy and terminology. It's a little bit difficult for them, but we have made it interesting and retainable, where you can retain up to 80% of the information even after you finish the class. So, Project 2019 wants to close the gap of the disparity of African Americans who don't go to higher level colleges or institutions. We want to bring more of them in to the certificate programs in those hard to fill areas that are in demand, such as science, technology, engineering, and math. And we also want to offer a before and after school program for those students who need that extra extension in language, English as a second language. And we want to push those students who are going through preparatory classes, getting their ACT and SAT together so that they can have high scores and go on into college. Now, the before and after school is a language school, and it's La Ferrari's Language Buddy School. And as you notice, I give that La Ferrari because that's my grandson. And we want to focus it in on him so that he'll be able to take it over and he'll be able to offer some support and language tutorial help for those children who are learning to speak English, read English, and to be able to incorporate bilingual, a second language, preferably Kiswahili or either Meduneta. Now, we are still seeking a teacher that can teach Meduneta, and I think we found one. Now, the main thing that I want to get you excited about this conference. Okay, this conference. Normally when I put on a conference, I have breakout rooms and keynote speakers. We all gather together for the first part of the session to hear the keynote speaker in the morning. Then we break up after he spoke for an hour into small groups, and then you can go into your own little nooks and rooms where you can pick and choose the topic that you want to participate in. Now, you know me, I can go out on my blog talk and pull any topic off, and it will be acceptable. And we can use that as a spearhead to create our topics so that you can pick and choose in advance. There will be a sheet that you can check off the workshops that you would like to go to. Then we will dispatch and break up in small groups online on Zoom, and then we will bring you all back together again to have our great room discussion. Now, this is how it's perceived to go, And in the past, when I have done workshops, they went pretty smooth when you break up into groups. You just have to know how to get back in, or else you could get locked out. Now, we will have itinerary typed up on the screen so you can see what the topics are and the episodes are, and you can break out into the episodes. And with this conference, we can go on with it for more than one day. And if we should choose to expand it out to another day, we will let you know in advance. There will be no more extra charge. You'll just pay your $10. And as I said, these tickets have been reduced down to $10 for those people who would love to come. It's like a donation. Normally we would have had a soul food kitchen dinner for you. That's what we had already planned. And we had the caterer that was coming out to the hotel where we were going to be assembling, and it kept changing from the 25 people eventually down to the 10. And it didn't make sense to have a banquet for just 10 people. And if there were more than 10, we would have to disband and we couldn't have it. So we decided to do a virtuous conference online. Now, I hope you like conferences. I hope you like being on the screen talking, because I'm a moderator, and that's what I do on my platform for Blog Talk, Oracle Divination Network. I have a podcast that I've ran for over 10 years, and I interview people. And that's what I like doing best, asking questions and interviewing people. And that's what we're going to be doing in our conference. And we're going to try to give you the best that we got. Giving you the best that we got. Yes, and we're going to try to get you involved and actively involved. So please remember to look out for these tickets. They're going to be online, where you can go and purchase them online. If you don't have the funds to go, let me know. I will work something out for you. No one will be turned away who would like to go. I never like to exclude people. I have won many scholarships to go to conference, to come in and support various different organizations. And when the funds were not there, I have seen them in the education field give out tickets to people. We're going to be giving quite a few things away. We will be giving away the Steppers CD to those people. There's a number on your ticket, and the number that you get on your ticket will actually connect you to a winning prize, and you might be able to win the Steppers CD. Okay, I love giving things out. I would like to be a philanthropist and give things away, because people are more happier when you're giving them things rather than charging them. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of you would even sign up to go if I just say come and it's free. No, I think by you giving $10 is a small fraction of what you're going to get. And I think that you're going to hear the children that we acknowledge that have had good grades, who have made the honor roll. We will be giving out the award certificate from Project 2019. It's a traditional thing. If you graduated from college, we will acknowledge you. You just have to let us know in advance that you would like to be acknowledged, giving us your name and your personal data and profile. But if you do not tell me, I will not know you've had some success stories. And don't come up to me at the last minute and say, well, my name wasn't on there, I forgot to give it to you. Well, then you can't be a part of an organization that you don't follow directions with. Okay? Now, the main thing I want you to understand, we want you to come with your questions and answers. We're going to be talking about special education and how special ed could be revamped through African Americans getting involved to reorder the special education department and to go and assess our children that are in special ed, to reevaluate them for English as the new language learner and help them to be put into shelter classes in English as a new language learner, and to eventually infuse them back into the mainstream and get those labels off them that shouldn't be there. That is our focus. We are an after school, before and after school program focusing in on language. And if we get the language right and learn to articulate, learn to read, we can gather facts and we can go to any university and do extremely well. If you can read well, you can do very well in any subject. And I am one to market that because I was told when I was growing up it was necessary for us to articulate and express ourselves well as to read well and phonetically blend encoding and outcoding. A lot of children did not learn how to do decoding in reading. Some teachers have not even learned this. And I went back to school to learn this so I could give a gift to children who never learned to read. Most people in prison are shut out because they never learned to read because things in life became so confusing for them. Now, I'm going to say today that Project 2019 is going to be a gift to a lot of you, okay? I'm going to need many volunteers and many helpers around the 50 states, wherever you are. I'm sure you're living in some state. And if you are listening to the sound of my voice and know that I'm always on here giving my time and giving of my specialty area of discussing various different real news and pretty much ministering to you. And that's what I came today to do, to minister to you. I haven't did very much ministering in a while. I am a minister of the cloth, and I do believe that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and He has anointed me to preach the good news to those that are faint-hearted, those that are lost, those that are looking for direction. And at a time like this, where we have the coronavirus that is peeking its ugly head up and doing destruction to us, we think, yes, sometimes we can mask the symptoms to make it look like one thing when it's another. And I do believe wholeheartedly, with all that is within me, that there is a war going on, and that was a war that was intended to raise its ugly head up in our community, and it was met with a dead cell. And that dead cell became ignited. And when it was ignited, it exploded in the bodies of the individual and began to suffocate them in their own saliva, creating a major catastrophe all over the world. And sooner or later, all of this information is going to come out. But that's what the Spirit has told me, and it's been confirmed through many scholars. And I would say that I came to bring you good tidings. I am not going to put you in a tizzy. I'm not going to tell you how many deaths that I counted throughout my state or the whole world, for example. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, woe, it's gloom and doom, and look out because this is a war of Armageddon. And now let me get started. There's been some individual people who call themselves Christians who think that because they have access to the Lord and praising Him, that their rags are not filthy like ours are. We all are like filthy rags. Our heart is wicked, desperately wicked, and who could know it? So why would we think ourselves to be proud and pompous because we have Christianity? Well, let me tell you about your Christianity. Your Christianity was forced upon people, and only 20% went willingly to become Christians. The rest of them were beaten into submission because they didn't want what the Romans had. You don't even have Christianity. The Romans took it at the Council of Nicene, converted it over to a new type of Romanistic belief, and Jesus wasn't even in it. He made you think He was giving you a Christian faith with Jesus. Now, those of you who think that we are barbarics, who are spiritualists, who are from voodoo, who are from various different African spiritualist faith, you think that we are bush people, and you would like to send your men out roaming through the streets saying, beware, gloom and doom. You're going to die if you are a voodoo practicer. You're going to die if you're a spiritualist. No, we're not going to die. Because if it wasn't for us, spiritualists who are in the faith of African spirituality, this world would have already turned over. It's our very prayers that are undergirding each and every one of you and myself included, who are undergirding the earth and speaking to the various different individuals, incarnated ancestors who are pleading to hold back Oye, the wind, and the uncompromising Mother Nature. We are the ones who've been praying and keeping back the foes. But yet you're prancing around here because you think you know Jesus Christ and that God is going to appear in the atmosphere and you'll be able to see him with your very eyes. No man has ever seen God and live, and neither will you see God and live unless you see the God on the inside of you. Get to know yourself better. The more you get to know yourself, the more you will get to know the actual God that rests, rule, and abide within you. Yes, there's a couple of us Black folks running around here. Now they are finally saying, well, the world and the earth is finally falling and we're getting what we deserve. No, sister and brother, that's not what's happening. Some man-made tools were set up in the laboratory and somebody tampered with something and they let loose and unleash the 5G on us. And that is pure ratified energy. Oh, yes, it is. Somebody's been trying to create a robot. They wanted theirs to get out first so that they can use it for robotic ammunition to fight wars with. Yes, we are in a war. You might as well believe it. So ungird yourself, because your weapons are not carnal through the pulling down of strongholds. Pull out your weapons. Your mouth is a mouthpiece. Your mouth is a weapon, and you must start sharpening your tools, because some of you are going to be called upon to come and divine over the dreams that these people are going to be dreaming. You will have the clue. You will have the missing key if you stay spiritual. God will reveal all things to you in a little while. And don't think that it's strange that many of you are having dreams now and are able to interpret what is currently going on now. God will show it to you in a dream. And who's God? God is that person within you. So go within yourself every opportunity you have to be able to collaborate with the Godhead that's within you. There's no fake atmospheric God that's going to part the sky, that's going to come down here and see about you and I. None. Because he said in his word, come and let us make man in our own image. And he was talking to us. So God rests, rule, and abide within us. He's not out in the atmosphere. You can't find him down in the grave. No, he has risen in our being. And we are the gods now. We are to lift our heads up. And we are to stand up and stop crying out to the atmosphere, shaking our fists, saying, God, if you had been here, you could have saved us. Then save yourself, because you are the new gods on this scene today. Let's get it straight and don't get it twisted. We are walking epistles. We are the temple. We are the churches. Churches are being emptied out. Pretty soon the preachers won't know what to preach and what to teach, because their words will be sounding on deaf ears when you have your scales taken off your eyes and you have awakened and you know that you truly are the Godhead that you've been waiting for, that Elijah that you've been setting the table for. You will soon realize he lives within you. He, she, or it lives within you. Now, I'm teaching today something that you won't hear from the Christian faith, or not even the Muslims. So when you come up to me and feel sorry that I'm not in your faith and you think I'm lost, I have mercy upon you. You're the one that's lost because you're in this fake old religion that keeps you in bondage and that will continue to enslave you unless you get out of all religion. All religion were intended to bond and put you in bondage. But you can be free today. You can be free. We're going to send you some frequency. And we're going to send you enough frequency to lift yourself up in a better state. Because right now, you've got those people standing in your face, pointing the finger, saying, I told you so, that this world was coming to an end. No. God's world is not coming to an end. This system is coming to an end. The system as you know it will never be the same. They're going to unleash everything they can on us. This is a time when your faith is going to be tested. It's going to be tested between your brothers and your sisters when you have to divide the food. Some of you are going to come against your mothers and your fathers. Some of you are going to strike out at them with gnashing teeth because you are going to want to take the mark of the beast. You are going to take the 666 stamped on your forehead because you want to eat. You're not going to trust and believe that God within you will see you through and you don't have to take the mark of the beast. Some of you are going to want to get those vaccines for your children because you think it's going to make your baby safe and it's going to ultimately cause your child to fall apart. Some of you are not going to believe and trust in the Lord with all your heart and soul. Some of you are going to lean upon your own understanding and you will faint. Some of you now need the word to encourage you because you're already falling faint-hearted. You're already disagreeing with what they're saying because it sounds too much like a mapped out speech and you don't want the fake news anymore. Some of you ready to go back to work because you can't stand being around your children. It's a bit too much. You want anyone to come in and take over because you don't know how to rear children. Some of you are ready to walk out on your husband because you're panicking because of your habits that you cannot continue to feel and you don't know how you're going to maintain your habits. You're on such high pharmaceutical drugs that you don't know what to do and you live by them drugs and you cannot function without them. Some of you are going to walk out on your wives because she's going to tell you to put the bottle down and stop drinking and trust in God and have faith. And you're not going to believe her. So you're going to get your bottle and you're going to leave. Some of you right now think that this is the Armageddon war and you're looking for the blood up to the horse's brows and you're saying to your neighbor, I don't think I'm going to make it. You're saying to your pastor, I'm not coming back to church anymore. I've lost my faith. Some of you believe that these hospitals have an answer for you. When you see them putting these patients on the ventilator, you think there's hope and that it's giving oxygen to them to breathe, but they're on their way to the death dorm as they put on the ventilators. There is no resuscitating. They will give a slow cold and wave their hand as those people transition off the face of this earth. Lord, we are in a way today that we must trust our inner feelings. We must lean on the spirit that's within us and call on the spirit. Call on the spirit, Eli, because the spirit will pick you up And the spirit is eternal. It is not temporal like these natural things that we see. So for those of you who are feeling sorry for anybody that's not a Christian, don't count it against them, because Christianity has you bound up. You're so bound up you don't know which way to turn. And all the lies that was told in that Biblia, they're not fanning out. And now you're seeing that the Bible was confusing. It taught you one thing, and then it resuscitated and taught you another. But you're going to have to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because it is the God that resides within you that will quicken you and give you the ability to see things and have visions and to go into a deep trance and be able to figure things out. It is the God that lives within you. Start buffeting that God, because you're truly going to be buffeted until you come out as pure gold. But you have to understand that we're not dealing with a humanistic thing here. This is not just a virus. This is a dead cell, as we were taught that viruses are dead cells. But it takes an ignition. It takes fire, ratified fire, to start that cell up and rising with temperature and starting it to blast off in the vocal cords of individuals. And we are fighting a masked out symptom of this various 5G that's been unleashed, because now they want to bring robots into the world. Now they want to use robots as part human beings. We are going to see things that we've never seen before, people. We're going to say, when did they start making our people into clones? When did they start producing half man and half mechanical robot? When did they have a group of soldiers that are fighting the people as if we are the enemies and carting us off into warehouses, because they have to reduce so many people on the face of the earth? There's not enough oxygen for us to breathe, so they must eliminate some people. And eliminate, they have done. A large percentage of people didn't go home after they got their treatments at the hospital. They did not go home, but instead they went to the morgue. And a lot of people that went into the hospital who had sense enough to say, I'm going to go home and I'm going to inoculate, and this too will pass. Say it with me. This too will pass. But will it pass without fear and trembling? Oh no, fear and trembling will exist. But count it all joy, because you've got a solution. You've got a way of escape. Go within yourself and ask God that if anything come upon you that is not natural, to expel it from your system. As I told you, E5 knows the inception of disease, and it also has a cure for the disease. Someone only needs to confide in E5. I did the reading, and it said that there are some curses that need to be broken that are upon this nation. I want to say to all of those priests and priestesses, wherever you are, please let us gather together. We need to come together, and we need to lay hands on this virus. Excuse me. We need to lay hands on those lost people. I'm sending frequency across the airways to those who are lonely of heart, to those who have given up, to those who said, I can't make it, you go on without me, to those who are still fearful and with gnashing of teeth, who cannot find it in their heart to have any more faith and believe in our world. To those who have babies that they have to inspire, look alive, encourage the weak and the faint-hearted, because your children will need your encouragement. Now let me come down off that high, because it does take me on a rather high as I go into the actual ability to let the Spirit take over my vocal cords and to have its way. Now, I am a spiritualist, but I'm not stuck into religion. And I'm not going to come here and give you things that will help put you in bondage, even if I could put you in bondage, if that's all you were doing was readings and divination. You have to learn to occupy and live. And you have to understand that you are an earthly being having a spiritual encounter. And because we're having a spiritual encounter, none of this is happening. This is in our dreams. The real world is when we dream. But we're going to talk about more spiritual things, and we're going to get you more acquainted with spiritual things. There's a lot of people out there that need to become priests and priestess. This is a time when you should convert over and do a lot of work on yourself. I found the time to go and get initiated. I found the time to learn more about spiritual things because I was lost too. And I'm telling you to do the same thing. Now, as you can see, I have on my Project 2019 shirt, and it says, "Only Black America can save Black America." You ought to go out and get one of these shirts. It's on our website. As I was telling you, that Chuck Sanford is the founder of our institute. We have facilitators that work in various different states, and those facilitators, they literally take on the job of working with volunteers who are literally training before and after school students. Now, I want you to please take your time to come back onto my Facebook or my YouTube so you can find these tickets there. As I told you, we have reduced them down to $10, and no one will be turned away for lack of funds. But you have to get with me in advance to ask me if I can help you with the hardship. And I will. I'm a very generous person, and I like to say yes as much as I can when it comes to giving. Now, because I've been given to so much, when you have been given blessings, then you need to open your heart and give a blessing as well. This workshop will be a unique one because it's the first time we will do a virtuous workshop on the Zoom airway. However, we can send our frequency, and there will be much of us talking about being in the spirit, because we're going to be handling the frequency, the airway. We will be in the airway, and we will be governing the airway. So we want you to come with your eagerness to learn and to participate, because we're going to be talking about the African American male and the danger of the African American male in the school system, and how we must revamp special ed in order to save our black boys. Now, as you know, I do have a book that's coming out. We've got the manuscript and the format. The cover, we're not so sure if we want to use the cover, but we're going to be working on making that decision rather soon. Then that book will be out along with the workbook to go with it. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking about chapters from the book at the workshop, the effects that females have on African American male, coupled with their culture. And Dr. Loyola Africa, bless his heart, he's made his transition. We want to send a shout out to his family, offering our condolences. That was my friend. I interviewed him for parts of my book, and he gave input on the circulatory system and how it is different, how African American circulatory system is different from other nationalities. And are African Americans laden with melanin? And do they function does melanin function different in their body? Yes, it does. It acts as a brain. So we'll be talking about that at the conference, and we'll be getting in deep into it. We will have Chuck as one of our keynote speakers. I'll be speaking, and then we'll have two other guests. So you do want to join us, because this is going to be something to write home to mom about, because we want to get those movers and shakers out here to be on our panels and to discuss things. Now, I'm going to say that right now I am getting so sleepy and tired, so it's past my bedtime, and I don't want to appear to be rattling on. So please do come to my Facebook site, and then you can see where we're going to post the tickets, and you can purchase yours for $10. Now, if you're a corporation and you'd like to come, we'd like for you to go ahead and pay the $25 and donate that through your corporation. You can write it off. But we certainly are going to do more roundtable discussion. And even with my blog talk radio station, Oracle Divination Network, we focus in on relationship, and we also talk about things that are spiritual, things that come from the spirit world, of those that are dreamers. And if you are one of those special seers with your third eye open, we definitely want to invite you in, because we definitely cater to those people that have the third eye open and that are consciously able to dream dreams and to see visions. So we work with the paranormal, in other words. That's right. The paranormal of people who can't function in traditional churches. They are definitely welcome in our circle, because when we get together, we do have church, and we allow the Spirit to have its way with us. And I want to say to all those priests and priestesses, I'm looking for you. We have provided a network place for you to come and congregate, and we want you to come. I don't care if you're active or not. Come and bring the knowledge that you have and share it with someone, because we've got to get this information out to brothers and sisters. And for anyone who would like to learn about the traditional spiritual teachings, I also was brought up in a spiritual church when I was a young girl, and I do still connect with that church in my hometown, and I do believe in their 10 bylaws, and I believe in their 10 commandments, because their spirit never changes. It's the same. So we can offer you flyers and brochures on how to become a spiritualist and develop your own church in your living room or in your bedroom or in your den. But do fellowship, and don't forget to fellowship with somebody else. I know they keep saying stay 10 feet apart, and that's the very thing that you do when you want to intimidate somebody. You put them off to themselves, and you tell them don't interact with other people, and then they soon start losing it because they are not having human contact. We got to stop this thing, and we got to do something else, because people need human contact, and people need to know they're loved. And I want to tell you that you're loved. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you at this conference, and that's April 25th. And we will be going online at 7 o'clock and setting everything up. And you can get there by 7:30, and hopefully everything will be set up, and you can pick and choose the conferences that you want to go into. And then you can also, we'll have breakout rooms, and we'll be giving away prizes, and we'll be doing group activities, and you'll enjoy it. I'm sure you will. So come on out and bring your whole family. This is a conference for the whole family to participate. There'll be rooms where the children can go in, and we will have things set up for them to do as well. So that way you can put your children, I'm not saying your infants and toddlers, unless they know how to use a computer, because they will have to manipulate the computer. Okay? And on that note, I want to say straight ahead and into the future, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Straight ahead and into the future, Gary, Indiana. Straight ahead and into the future, Dallas, Texas. Straight into the future, Danville, Illinois. Straight ahead and into the future, Avon, Indiana. Straight ahead and into the future, Indianapolis, Indiana. And straight ahead and into the future, Detroit, Michigan. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate you allowing me to come in. And once again, don't forget to go online to my Facebook and purchase your ticket for $10. If you're having time financially, let me know. Email me omiyinka1 Let me know you're having a struggle, and we'll see how to get you a hardship ticket so you can come in to the conference. Thank you. Oh, double and Baba Booey to y'all.